Hey, howdy ho, Lions fans. Guess who's here? We got Case, we got Chris. We're here with our July 30th. The 30th? Yeah, 30th camp report. Got to camp today. Case wasn't able to make it. His plane landed just as I was getting out of camp. So we got some good news. He's here for the rest of the week. We're going to be there all week, everybody. We'll be there to see camp. Case will be there. Glad to have you.
My first time.
Glad to have you, dude. It's so great. Here, let's do a little tip of the glass.
Cheers.
Cheers, my friend.
Got some Michigan beer.
We like to hit our glasses at the bottom like our women. I got my Jack and Coke. A German guy told me that once. It was a fun line. So we're going to talk a little bit about what I saw at camp today. Case is going to reflect on some of the news and some of the things that we saw at camp today. Talk about a couple other things too. So first, let's get off on the schedule.
You tuned in. It's your fault.
And we are coming straight from Case's hotel room.
We needed a ratings bump.
So the schedule this week. We got training camp on Wednesday still. We got training camp on Thursday still. And then on Friday, of course, there's that Ford Field thing, but that's for families. We don't have families. Come on down to our party up there in Commerce. You can get there. Party.DetroitLionsPodcast.com, of course. It's going to be great. Dean Blandino will be there. Dan Miller is going to shoot down after the Ford Family Fest. You could probably shoot down after the Ford Family Fest as well. Looks like I bet you could be there by 8. We'll probably still be doing the show and that kind of stuff. So free to still drive in and do that. If you're interested, hit us. We'll help you make that happen. But party.DetroitLionsPodcast.com. So on this week, we have tomorrow's training camp. Then Thursday's a big special day.
Hey, Thursday is a special day.
First, what is it known as?
It is Zach Zenner Day. Woo!
A lot of love for Zach Zenner in this room right now.
We got our T-shirts and everything. We're ready to.
Got our T-shirts. We do also have for Matt Patricia. He joined the I Love Zach Zenner crew this week. You saw the news reports, probably him saying he loves Zach Zenner. So we have a shirt we're going to try to get to him. Who knows? He probably won't wear it, but it'll still be fun. Get your shirts, wear your shirts as well on the 1st. We'll be there all day. So we're hoping folks join us for lunch. We're having free open. Wants to come hang out. Let's do it. Let's talk Lions. Let's talk shit. Let's just have some fun. That's great. If you don't see us at camp, meet at Buddy's right after. I might have. And then Thursday is a big day. It's a commemorative day, first annual for the 3rd annual training camp party. What's going on Thursday?
Thursday, I get a chance to sit down one-on-one. We've had a bunch of questions submitted on the subreddit for suggestions. We're going to look through it and talk about, as opposed to just the coach speak stuff. We're working hard to do that. We're hoping to. So we'll look through and see what some of the most popular ones are, and then take our guess of what might translate the best to that situation, and I will try to get that out there so that we can share that with everyone. As I said on the sub, it's rare that we get an opportunity as the subreddit, as the podcast, as all of us direct
to upvote your favorite question. Look, if it's fun to do that, and it's totally cool.
If I had the chance to ask like 3 or 4
and give you guys where you're that are most pertinent to you about the fans or whoever else we're talking about. So some really good stuff going on there. Let's talk a little bit about camp news. So we want to hit on injuries a little bit.
Yeah.
Matthew Stafford went down hard today. No, I'm just joking. So we had late last week, last day of practice before the break, Deshaun Hand and we had Armani Bryant go down. Have you heard any update on their status?
The only thing I keep seeing is Dave Burkett predicting that, like, with the tone he keeps using, is that they're very serious. Except that the team came out and said, they're day to day. They were both there today. Bryant was wearing one of them was wearing an arm brace that today, which you never know for sure whether or not that's means something, but it's certainly better saying they're week to week up or whatever. So, and they were both there today and working in limited fashion or at very least working with trainers is at least that's a positive. So far that he doesn't have the opportunity to before the season.
Yep. So they're working with an abundance of caution. So there's a lot of times guys will get dinged up and set out when they would during the season. So So worry not about all that. A'Shaun was on the field today. A'Shaun, love to see him out there. I didn't see them overwhelm anybody.
Yeah, and I mean, they're still missing a lot of guys. They're missing Snacks. Trey Flowers is still, I don't. So I mean, the full roster, and the only hope, it'd be easy, and I know there are. That's what we do. But it's real easy to do that, but don't jump to any conclusions at this point. It's so early. At very least, see what happens, through the first 2-3 preseason games before you truly start. Yeah. We might hear something negative. We might hear something positive. Mm-hmm. So it's a time of the year when people get nervous. I know that, but try to restrain yourself. Hold back. Just.
I love this time of year because as a coach said. Happen a bit though about the happen scenario because we've touched on it a little bit at times we've talked, but there's the idea, this narrative about 3-13 mm-hmm. or 4-12 for this mm-hmm. team. And look, I don't have a whole lot to back it up. It's the time of year when you just have what they're doing in the practice field, right? But you look back to last year and how much hype and how people were projecting. I mean, some people were projecting to 12-win season, mm-hmm. right? And doing it with a straight face. Mm-hmm. And then that Jets game happened, and then the season happened, and people were like, we talked about the dashed expectations. Right. Nothing is worse than having your expectations set and then just being destroyed. It can really, it'll shake you, right?
And it's not like it's the first time that's happened to us, but...
So here we are. We've made some serious moves in the offseason, right? I mean, this Mike Daniels thing here just now is big.
Trey Flowers signing is huge.
You look at
Coleman signing could be huge.
You look at that front. We'll talk a little bit about it, Tavai, in a second, but he's looking good out mm-hmm. there.
And the best player of camp by far, by everyone's account, and we'll get into it more, is T.J. Hawkinson.
Yep. All these things are working out, and I think, I can even talk a little more about Tavai when we do. I got another thing that just popped in my head about it we talk about today, but this is maybe a flip of the script, a negative of last year, like a reverse image. People are really projecting us low, and I just saw for the first time somebody projecting that it looks like maybe it's the Lions and the Vikings that could really fight each other for this division because of some of what's going on in Green Bay.
I have seen, and usually it's a little bit more on the independent side. I talked about it on the podcast. The bigger news sources, the USA Today's, the ESPNs, they seem to be the ones who are very low on us. Whereas if you look closer at something like the team. I did this the last time too. of them have us a little bit higher. Not so much many of them saying we're going to threaten for the division yet, but I can't blame them there. I mean, we got to prove something before, you can't go 6-10 and then jump to even the playoffs. But that doesn't mean that out there aren't seeing the potential there this year.
And the thing I have as an ace in the pocket right now is there is no works. And Bevel coming in, they don't know if it's going to be the Bevel offense or something else. They don't know what they're going to see.
Right.
So there's a lot of interesting possibilities yet to unfold this year. So good stuff there. Good stuff. Anything else you want to talk about heading into the season? Okay, we can talk about today. Let's see.
There we go. Perfect.
Tavai out there today, intercepting Matthew. Good, clean interception, and absolutely unexpected. It was a play that wasn't. You could tell it wasn't developing really well, but it didn't matter. It was grabbing that ball and gone.
See. Just a good sign. It seems like I certainly haven't heard anything negative about him coming out of camp, and the only things I have heard are positive. Even though we're not getting a ton of news about any individual player outside of TJ mostly, but it's for all the crap he took and we took as a team for taking him, and there's a joke going around the subreddit of who? I've never even heard of this guy. That's becoming a meme of its own, which, are Detroit Lions and memes hand in hand. But it's just, it would be very, it would be really great for Bob Quinn and his reputation if this pick worked out and make up a lot for the Tease Tabor one a couple of years ago.
So. This is the one that gives you the mystique of Belichick.
Right.
If he's right on this Tavai pick, this is the thing that everybody's got the big board, and you kind of expect who's going to go down. There's slight variations, right? But to make a pick like Tavai, who was on nobody's board at that position, right? When we thought we were going for Oruwariye. And then still get Oruwariye later, right? This is the kind of move that will set him apart if it works. So we'll take a look at this and see what happens. This is an interesting play and definitely something to monitor for outcome going forward. Saw another play today. Nice long pass, about a 25-30 yarder to not Jelani Tavai. He caught from Stanford. Travis Fulgham out there. And whoa, looked great. I mean, it was a beautiful throw from Stanford. Dropped it right in. And just landed and made the gain, and then it was pushed out of bounds at the end. Travis looked big out there, and he looked really good. Now, I remember one of the things about him back at Senior Bowl, there's those notes. Sorry about the audio. I think we've got the audio fixed for y'all. Back at Senior Bowl, watching Travis Fulgham, he was one of the guys. So when they did the elephant walk at the beginning, right? One of the things I was doing, so I had some guys in my head that I wanted to watch, right? But I did strictly on athleticism, their body type, how they were built, and what their conditioning looked like from this, guy standing in their underwear thing. And I picked a couple of guys that I really wanted to check out, and Travis Fulgham was one of them. Really top 20% body type, really, really looked good. And that's when he popped on my radar. I hadn't done any scouting or work on him before that. Good route running, all that kind of stuff. The problem was, and we've said it a bunch of times when I refer to it, the quarterback play was ass at Senior Bowl. It was terrible. So you really couldn't get a good feel for him, right? To see him out there today, the speed he had, and being able to get open for the catch that he made, and fighting his way down the sideline, really looked good. This is a kid who could really turn into something special, and he's got some serious physical traits. So he may be a tough slot guy where he wants to beat people up around the middle, or he could just be that fast outside runner as well who can get free to get at that ball. Looked really good today.
With development, it would be absolutely amazing, for him to become a slot guy for us. That's obviously a difficult role to step into, but pardon me. Hey, there we go, live
stream. We'll have to put a cough button in.
Right. But it would be disappointing because there'd been a lot of talk about maybe he won't even make the roster. And even if we stashed him on the PS, a guy who's taken that high, he does have some impressive physical attributes. They're not quite, they're not quite Kenny Golladay impressive, but they are, but he's still got the size and speed of a guy who can have success as an outside receiver, even if it isn't, likely to be an elite outside receiver by any means. But with
this receiver core, he has a serious opportunity, right. As we're seeing out there how they're playing.
I feel like the best case scenario for the next couple years while he's developing would be as kind of the guy to spell Golladay or Jones, as the number 4 guy who's not the slot, and just gets in there and is able to run the routes, doesn't necessarily see a lot of targets, but occasionally gets one thrown at him, and occasionally comes down with it. That's so I wouldn't expect to see him putting up big numbers anytime soon, but as long as he can stick around and continue developing, that's a guy that could have a future for sure. Because I definitely, even if you go back and watch his college film, you can see a lot of similarities to what Kenny Golladay did in college.
And he could be, with the right kind of development, the Marvin Jones replacement.
Right.
And that's probably what they're thinking.
Right.
Let's talk about the slot a little bit. He's not on our list, and I want to bring him up though. Danny Amendola, looking good out there, super stud, great shape.
He was actually one guy I've heard nothing but good things about.
Well, I'll tell you some bad things. He had a tough day today. Had a couple of drops.
Oh, really?
I saw it reported earlier that he threw his helmet at Stafford. It wasn't like that. He threw his helmet. Stafford was in the direction.
Why do people report things like that?
Because it makes for clicks. Stafford was in the direction. It didn't hit him. Wasn't a danger. Amendola was mad. He was really mad. And he was mad at himself. He wasn't mad at Stafford. He was very, very angry with himself. And he took some time on the sideline, down on a knee by himself, and you could just tell he was internally raging. I like that kind of fire.
Right.
I like that kind
totally.
of. He was doing great. He was looking great, and then he makes just two mistakes in camp, right? And you think about how many mistakes you make every day, especially you, right? How many mistakes you make in a day, and I can't even get that angry, right? he really he takes it personally. He's a hard worker. He's out there. So on a bad day, there's something good to take away, and that he really values his contribution and perfection.
Yeah.
So that was good to see in a bad space, though. Some guy Hockenberry, son? Anyway, the son of Hocken. Number 1 out there by all accounts. Today, first day out there to see what happened. Nothing super spectacular out of him. A couple of long ball catches. Here's me, right? Nothing super spectacular. He caught everything basically going his way. He caught stuff at his knees. He caught stuff up high. He caught stuff on the fly. Looking good. Good. I don't know that today I would say he was the best of all the receivers out there, which is what they've been saying through camp so far.
Right.
But he definitely looked good. He's definitely. He looks at this point like a veteran on the team, a veteran addition rather than a draft pick. He will definitely contribute day one on this team in the regular season. Looking great. Love the kid. And then I'll have some Jesse James news for you after you respond.
Really? Yeah. Well, no, it's obviously it's a bit of a sigh of relief. Even we all know the history of the Lions. We all know the history of the Lions drafting tight ends and how that worked out.
Well, does something happen?
But even that first year with Ebron in camp, it was obvious that he was having concentration issues. And as a first-year player, it was really easy to say it's okay. He'll get over that. He'll get better. He never really got over that concentration thing. So it's is just a relief, and that doesn't mean I think we can set expectations too high for a rookie tight end, because if we do that, we're likely to be disappointed. But it's just nice to know that we're not hearing all these things that we have to say, oh, he's just a rookie, don't worry about it, he'll develop out of it. It's nice to be able to kind of skip that step in the process, if that makes sense.
Sure, yeah.
So,
it was good. He's good. You'll see tomorrow. He can be pretty impressed. Some of the sets they were running, it's all kind of basic stuff, but you can see the difference. You can totally see the difference between this and the JVC offense, and it's a very, very good evolution. Really, really excited and happy with what we're seeing. So that was good. Jesse James out there, JJ, right?
Oh, man.
Saw him make 2 catches today. Nothing spectacular, nothing too big, but he made the 2 catches.
I'm not expecting major spectacular from him. I'm just expecting consistently there when he needs to be there.
And a chain mover kind of guy, right? And he blocked really well.
Good.
So you're not hearing superstardom out of Jesse James. Don't worry about it. As a number 2 tight end, he's a great guy to have. Jesse James. So that was good stuff. All right, so we're throwing new names in here. I got our Warrior out there. Not bad, not spectacular, right? I mean, impressive for a rookie. We'll see where it's going to take game time. You know how cornerback work is, right? And a lot of this stuff, they run into half speeds, and then they roll it up into regular speed. Right. Nothing, just not a standout, which is good, I think, actually.
Right.
If you don't stand out bad or good as a cornerback in the first round, you're doing a good job. And you want to know what's wrong with the Samsung watch? Just now went off and told me I'm getting a good workout, and it's all because I'm talking with my freaking hands.
I was wondering why you looked at it. No, I mean, even when you take a guy in the 5th and everyone's like, how the hell did that guy fall to the 5th? You still say, well, that guy fell to the 5th probably for some reasons, and because he's raw and needs some work and has some issues to work out. That's why it's not a surprise that he's not like blowing the roof off of anything. If he was going to be that kind of player right out the gate, he would have been a 1st or 2nd round pick. So, I mean, as long as a good camp for a rookie, especially a late round rookie, is that's what we need.
Yep. Gonna move on to somebody else. Do you remember all the talk about Stafford windows?
Mm-hmm.
Right? How he could throw that ball, he could wing it so well that the windows were tighter for him. Right? I want to introduce you to a new phrase I mentioned on Twitter earlier. Savage windows. We've got savage windows. And I'm telling you, he was out there. Everyone talks about how strong his arm is. Yeah. He's got a great arm. He was putting ball. I was like, I double checked a couple times because I was like, I thought I saw Savage in there, and it's like, it came out like a Stafford ball.
Right.
I mean, and they're built similar. They have the strength. I mean, he's not going to replace Stafford. Don't get any crazy ideas, you crazy writers out there. But he's really, I mean, as a backup, we were talking about it over lunch, right? Yeah. He is literally the best backup we've had since Sean Hill.
Yeah.
And one of the nice things we talked about, there's a couple different schools about what kind of quarterback you want. This is a guy that is a lot like Matthew Stafford, who throws the ball. What kind of adjustments the wide receivers are going to have to make when if Matthew Stafford gets injured and we have to bring Savage in are much less than
and even the offensive line. If there's, as he said, there's different philosophies on a backup, and the basic idea being either bringing a guy who's very similar to your quarterback, or bringing a guy who's like completely opposite to your quarterback into a game when you need, and so if you bring in a guy, with the rushing ability and escapability out of the pocket, then that can cause some confusion for defenses, and that makes sense. It also makes sense if you can keep running the plays and your offensive line doesn't all of a sudden have to be scrambling all around and things like that. Unfortunately, ever since like Sean Hill, we've been stuck in the situation where it's, the Kellen Moore, who's nothing like either of those things. Litany of names that have not, gone on to any kind of success elsewhere.
Kellen has become an outstanding
coach. I shouldn't say that. Yes, on the field. Thank you for the credit.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's fair. That's fair. And I like Kellen Moore.
Yeah.
I think he was a nice guy, and I was rooting for him to keep improving. It just wasn't. I mean,
he didn't have
the physical tools. Just
there was a breeze there today when I was waiting to get let in. I think before things opened. Of course, I was a third person in line. You know how intense I get sometimes. It's that and golf are the only things I wake up early for. There was a good breeze going, and with the breeze, I was worried that if Kai had been there, the ball would have been blown into Canada because it was interesting. I saw Ryan Santoso at a Santoso setting. One of the loves of my life. Looked good. Never saw a kick out of him. Now, he may have kicked a couple times when the scrimmage was happening, when other things were happening right in front of us, and I didn't catch it. But every time he was faking a kickoff, he would stop and they would use the machine. And then every time that there was a real kickoff, Sam Martin was doing it. So I think we know where Ryan is right now. It is what it is, right? So we got that going on. Also, we want to also remember, for those that have picked up on the broadcast now here, don't forget about the party Friday at Uptown Grill, Commerce. We're actually going there tonight. You want to join for dinner? We'll probably be there, I don't know, 6:37. If you want to come on down, we're going to have some drinks and some dinner and chill. Let Case kind of scope the place out so his anxiety goes down a little bit about it. But join us for the party. Again, even if you want to come after the Fun Fest, whatever, tickets, party.DetroitLionsPodcast.com. Head on over and join us. We'd love to have you there. Dean Blandino's going to be there. We're going to premiere a brand new video. If you haven't seen the teaser trailer, I've tweeted it a couple times. It's pinned in my profile. You can go to trailer.DetroitLionsPodcast.com to get that. It's good. There's two people, or there's three people who have seen this video so far.
It's good.
Case has seen it. Dean has seen it. Oh,
you've seen it.
Dan Miller has seen it, and Sandman has seen it.
So 5.
Yeah. So I can't count, right? But it's I've gotten a lot of good feedback on it, so I'm really excited to roll this out. I think it's fun. So that video will premiere there. You get to see the premiere, and it's a director's cut version. You'll see the final version is going to be a little bit different. So it's better to be at the bar. Let's see. We got that. We got Dean Blandino. Dan Miller is shooting down after the Family Fest as soon as he can get out of there. He's blasting down there. 6 to 10 o'clock, we'll do a live show. We'd love to do those live shows. You'll get your chance to ask your questions of Dean. So anything you want to know about any of the calls, flag pickups, whatever, it's your opportunity. Ask Dean. He's there. He'll take abuse. He doesn't want it, right? But he will. He's a really, really good guy.
He's taking it for us for a couple of years at least.
You'll grow to love him too now. So there's that. So yeah, that's what's all going on. Get ready to get your tickets. Again, party.DetroitLionsPodcast.com. Get yourself set up with that fun. Last person we want to talk about from camp today was this guy. You had made some pretty big predictions on his first year, and I think just his first year, and Detroit Lions uniform, Mr. Marvin Jones, and those predictions did come to unfold as he thought they would.
That's right.
He was right. Case was right.
That never happens.
Happens sometimes. Oh man! So great play. I love the angle I got to see this play from, because there was a flood in from two receivers on the left side, and they were coming across into the end zone this way, and you just saw the ball come out of Stafford's hand, and instead of the ball coming in this way, out popped Marvin Jones coming the other way, like against the current, wide open by himself, massive separation. Boom, got the ball. It was a beautiful play, and I was just lucky to have the angle I had to see how that developed, because I saw Stafford throw the ball, and I'm like, it's behind Erie. Oh, right. It was really cool to see. Really well run play. Marvin looked good. There are a couple of times today that Marvin Jones got separation that he didn't before. Now, is that an indictment of our secondary? Maybe not.
Is it something to do with our play calling? Maybe, maybe not.
And this is one of the things I've speculated, and I believe may be true. If you start out, one of the things about play calling, when you call an offensive play, them not knowing your play gives you an advantage.
Yeah.
I know
it's rocket science,
right?
But hey,
this is brain science.
Rocket
surgery. Now, if they know your play, it's a lot harder on your players to be able to execute.
You're crazy, man.
I know. I would put forth that as a wide receiver, if they know your play, you're going to have a harder time finding separation. And again,
maybe he had separation anxiety last year.
That could have been. And maybe those bunt cakes.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
Do you want to go to the bunt cake place over here, Marvin's place?
Sure, why not?
All right. Maybe we can hold hands and have a lemon fresh bunt together. All right. That's all I had. Case, anything else from you?
No, I don't have anything
else. All right. daily updates from now through Friday and all the camp stuff, everything going on. We have a private tour of Ford Field coming up on Friday. That's going to be pretty cool. A lot of great stuff to come. Report on. Thank you all for tuning in. We will see you next time. We'll see you tomorrow with the Detroit Lions Podcast Training Camp Report. Thank you.